So I've been a full-time PC gamer now for over 3 months since I got my new gaming PC, and this I guess most people figured this would be inevitable that I would be playing on PC a lot more than I would on console, and I would eventually become part of the PC master race. I'd finally see the light that PC gaming was better than console gaming. And I actually do genuinely believe that now. After so many years of trash talking PC gamers and just taking a shit on PC gaming, I have finally joined the rank and file of the PC Master Race and the Gabe Newell army. So, wow. I didn't think that they would actually. If you told me 3 years ago, or even 2 years ago, when I was portraying myself as the console king, and I was the most despised console fanboy on the internet, that 2 years later it would come to this. I wouldn't believe you. But I finally got that money for a gaming PC, and I was curious, and I finally decided to try it out. And here we are today, me making a video on why PC gaming is better than console gaming after so many years of making those anti-PC videos, which I still get notifications on my channel for. People still leave dislikes and still leave hate comments on those videos. Those were very infamous videos that I made that so many prominent YouTubers have actually made response videos to, including Rags, Bullet Barry, Top Hats Champagne. I was even featured in an I Hate Everything video, which when I saw that, I was just like, wow. These videos were getting so much attention from all these YouTubers that it actually came to a point where a handful of people from real life would recognize me through YouTube. Not a joke. People would actually recognize me through YouTube. And even on Facebook, I left a comment on my profile. Like, I used my personal Facebook page to comment on, like, some type of gaming article. I forget which website it was. It could have been IGN or something like that. I left a comment, and it gained a little bit of traction. People liked the comment, and then it became one of the top comments on that article, on that Facebook post, and someone responded, "Hey, aren't you that kid from Rags' video?" They actually recognized my face from Rags. On just the internet, people recognized me. It was crazy. I was getting so much attention from these videos based off of these YouTubers making responses on them. At that point, 2016, 2017 was just so crazy. It was so weird how it was such a small channel, but everyone recognized me. It was just such a weird thing. But, over time, as you guys know, I decided to drop this whole PC versus console thing and just enjoy what I was playing on and not vilify other people for playing on a different gaming machine than I did. It was just a whole it was just, I realized it was just such a stupid thing, trolling or not, that it was just a waste of time and I could be doing more productive things with my life. But I have to say, that experience I had with Rags and Bullet Barry and Top Hats having those PC versus console debates, starting to eventually realize that I was on the losing side of this argument and that maybe there really was something to PC gaming. I finally saved up enough money to throw down on a brand new gaming PC, $1,000. It has an amazing processor. The graphics card's a little bit out of date, but it can run every game. There's no game that it can't run. Maybe some of the newer games it could run very low settings, but most games run pretty smooth, 60 frames per second, and I gotta say, once you go 60 frames, this is what people tell you. Bullet Barry said it, other YouTubers have said it, and people who have transitioned from console to PC have all said it. Once you go 60 frames, you can never go back, and that is definitely true. I sure as hell hope, it really seems that it's gonna happen, so it's not too worrying, that the next generation of consoles every game should be playable in 60 frames. I don't think we have to worry about that frame rate problem anymore. But, those are really not the reasons why I decided to get a gaming PC. It was just mostly just time to upgrade my computer. I had a shitty laptop from 2011, 2012 that had Windows 7, then I upgraded Windows 10. It effed up the whole thing, and it ran so slow. Just simply rendering a 10-minute video would take about a half hour to an hour just to render it. Even doing my homework, simple things became really slow. It's just when you have a laptop for that long, that inevitably happens. And honestly, I don't think I'll ever buy a laptop ever again because now I realized how useless laptops are these days, especially when you have tablets and other mobile devices. And when you could shell out $1,500, $2,000 on a brand new laptop, in a few years it will be completely outdated. And I might make a separate video on this because it is a very interesting topic, but I would just say under pretty much no circumstances should you ever buy a laptop. It's always a waste of money. It's never worth the money that you put into it, whether it's a low end one that's only a few $100s or especially the MacBooks, total waste of money. So I knew I was going to get a desktop because desktops are always better than laptops when it came to performance, and again, portability was nothing I really cared too much about. So I decided to go with a desktop, and I figured, I shouldn't just get any desktop since I've been so interested in PC gaming and just been curious about it. I might as well get a gaming computer for a few extra $100. Just get a gaming computer that will last you a while, and you might have to upgrade it in a few years, especially since I have a 1060. Maybe in the next year or two I'll upgrade it. But for the most part, I have a really fast processor. I have everything else is really good. I have 16 gigs of RAM, which should last me a little bit. And overall, for the price, I did buy a pre-built. For the price, I got a really good build and pretty good quality, I would say. I got a CyberPower PC because I really didn't have the time and patience to be building a PC. I know Bullet Barry tried to get me into building one myself because everyone knows Bullet Barry is like really into building computers. I just can't. I just didn't have the willpower to go through that. I'd rather just buy the thing, hook it up, and play it, and that'd be it. I'm not really good with my hands and using my hands to build things. I was never a handy person, so I knew that trying to build a PC, probably I could have figured out eventually, but it would just been way too frustrating. I didn't care about saving a few $100s. I just wanted to get the damn thing and play it because at that point my curiosity really was really high at that point, and I really wanted to get into PC gaming. So the past few months I've pretty much abandoned my consoles and have just been playing on PC, and I honestly think at this point that I am a PC gamer more than I am a console gamer, and I'm probably not going to play the consoles too much anymore. Maybe when the next generation comes, I'll play more of it, but I think for now, I'm a PC gamer through and through. I love the keyboard and mouse. It took a while to get used to because I've been playing a controller most of my life, but the keyboard and mouse was amazing. I really think that you cannot play first-person shooter games. You cannot play most games, really, on a controller. It's just so much more responsive and more fluid when you use a keyboard and mouse. And I'm sure these are things you've heard before, but it took me a little bit to get used to it, but now I'm completely used to the keyboard and mouse. It has so much more features, so much more options, and it really allows for a superior gaming experience. These great games that I played on the console, like Mass Effect, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, I've been playing through these games again on the PC, and it's just a totally different experience. It's a much better experience, especially games like Mass Effect where you can utilize the keyboard and mouse. The combat is so much easier and so much better. I remember absolutely loathing the combat sections of Mass Effect and just caring about the story in that part of the game, and absolutely loathing the combat, but on the keyboard and mouse it's just so much better. And obviously Bethesda games, the mods are just amazing on PC. I got a taste of it on the Xbox One, but it's nothing in comparison to the PC. But me liking PC better than console is a lot more than just frame rate and a keyboard and mouse, which if I really wanted to, I could hook a keyboard and mouse into my PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. So it's obviously a lot more than those two things as to why I would prefer PC gaming. I think it really has a lot more to do with console gaming just starting to suck now. And I'm definitely going to elaborate on that in my next video, just so that this one doesn't get way too long. But I think we can all agree that in comparison to the previous two generations, or pretty much every generation before it except for maybe like the ColecoVision or something like that, this generation has just totally sucked. It's been very underwhelming. You've had great games, sure, but the amount of amazing games that you've had in previous generations and just the overall console experience has declined in recent years. The console experience isn't really as unique and special as it used to be back in the day. And besides console gaming starting to suck these days, and before I continue, I want to quickly say this: I'm not trying to become a PC elitist, someone who thinks I'm better than other people for what platform I play my games on, and just making fun of console gamers because they game on the inferior platform. Some people are going to disagree and say console is still better, and that's your opinion, and I completely respect it. But from my perspective, console gaming is really starting to suck these days, and I will make another video elaborating on that further, but besides console gaming starting to lose its appeal to me, what attracts me to PC gaming the most, I think what really is the best thing about PC, the amount of freedom and openness on that platform in comparison to the lockdown console experience where Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo have total control over what goes and doesn't go on their platform. On PC, it's not that way at all. Even games that are banned from Steam, such as that active shooter game, which a lot of people thought was a little bit too much. But the thing about PC gaming is that nothing can ever be censored because they'll just release it on their own store, which they did. So PC gaming, in comparison to console gaming, is completely immune from censorship. Sony's been cracking down on these anime games with naked women in them. Sony's been taking them off the PlayStation Store. Microsoft has taken games off of their store before too. And with PC, Valve doesn't control what goes on. Epic Games doesn't control what happens. There's no one company that controls the entire market, which I think is amazing because there's no censorship. You're able to do whatever the hell you want to do with your game, such as mod it, which after experiencing mods with a lot of these games, especially Fallout and other games that I played on the PC, the console version of me just feels like a trial version. Like I played a demo and not the full experience. With PC, every game you have, the possibilities are completely endless. And the amount of hours you will get out of your game is so much more. And you'll just get an overall better value for the money that you put into these games. Because you just get so much more on PC than you would get on the console. Because again, it's so tight-knit on the consoles. Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo control the entire platform. It's not open at all. And just all these games that, if it weren't for PC gaming, wouldn't exist, that are some of the best games I ever played, like Postal 2, which I thought was just such a hilarious game, such a ridiculous game, but just it had its own charm to it, and it was just so amazing. But a game like that, or how about games that we're all more familiar with, like Minecraft, Super Meat Boy, Undertale, amazing games, innovative games that without PC gaming wouldn't have even existed because of how open and free PC gaming is. Indie developers are able to self-publish, put the game on the PC platform because it's not as expensive as putting the game on console because they ask for a lot of money, Sony and Microsoft, to put the game on their store. I know now they're a little bit more open to indie developers, but just, without PC gaming, you just wouldn't have all these games. You wouldn't have all these innovations. PC gaming is definitely the most innovative. It's the platform where the most innovation is taking place. And to top it all off, PC gaming has the largest game library ever. There is no platform that has a larger library than PC gaming. Steam alone has a much larger game library than the PlayStation and the Xbox. Backwards compatibility was always something that was so important to me because I didn't want to have all these consoles hooked up to each other. With PC, I can play the old Star Wars games from back in the day. I could play all these old games that didn't get a remaster, didn't get re-released, but they're still on the store from the day that it came out 10, 15 years ago. I don't have to have another piece of hardware to be able to play these older games because PC is an ever-evolving platform that doesn't have an end to it. There's no generations, and I do think that that is a huge advantage that PC gaming has. Not having to spend $500 every few years on a new console, $400, and having to spend $60 a year on a subscription service that I don't want, actually $120 a year because I play on both consoles. I play on the Xbox and PlayStation. There is no subscription fee. And anybody who's familiar with my political and social views knows that I am a huge proponent of individual rights and liberty. And I think PC gaming is really the embodiment of that in video games, because it's such an open and free platform that you could pretty much do whatever the hell you want. And there's just so much things you could do that you're less likely to get bored. Let's say you beat a game and that's it. But on PC, you can download mods, you can do so many things to make that game last longer. Again, one company doesn't control the entire market, so there's less corporate bullshit involved. And it just all goes back to how open and free PC gaming is in comparison to consoles, which I think is the best thing about PC gaming and really provides for the ultimate gaming experience. I do think that if you want to get into PC gaming, don't be intimidated by how expensive it is. Just save up all the money. I don't care how long it takes. If you're a kid and don't really, have a lot of income, maybe you have some shitty minimum wage job, or you don't have a job at all, just save up all the money that you can. I promise you it's completely worth it than getting a new PlayStation, getting a new Xbox in the next year or two. If I would recommend, if you have a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One right now and you're looking for your next gaming experience, I'd say instead of a PlayStation 5, you should save up for a PC. And I'm having such a good time right now with PC gaming that I don't even know if I need a new console. Like, if I'm even going to buy a PlayStation 5, or definitely not an Xbox, because they just put their games on PC anyway. But even if they didn't, I don't even see the need for me having a console anymore at this point. I kind of have everything I need on PC. There's really no reason for me to put $400, $500 in on a new gaming machine that I'd only use for a handful of exclusives, and that's it. It's not a good value for me. And then having to pay a subscription every year to just be able to play online. But just to wrap everything up here, if you told me 2 years ago, when I was the console king, making these ridiculous videos about how amazing console gaming is, how it's a superior platform, and how PC gaming is just awful, if you told me that long ago, and it's not that long ago, it's only 2 years, that this time, 2 years later, I would be making this video about how much better PC gaming is than console. Isn't it crazy how different things can be, how much things can change in such a short period of time? I mean, 2 years ago, I was living in a different place. I had completely different friends. I was going to a different school. And now, 2 years later, all that's changed. My life is completely different now than it was 2 years ago. The way I live my life is completely different. And I go from being one of the most vilified people on the internet, having the worst like to dislike ratio on YouTube, to actually being liked by people actually enjoying my content and wanting to see more of it, instead of just clicking on my video for a good laugh, just to poke fun at me basically and leave hate comments to just how awful of a human being I am. Now these days people say some pretty good things about me, but more people like me than don't like me, which I'm still trying to get used to all this time later, because my channel's been heading in this direction for the past year and a half, but I'm still getting used to, not making a video and not getting just completely bombed by dislikes. It's just, it's something I'm still getting used to, but it's just crazy how time changes everything. I mean, I was a hardcore console gamer, and now I'm a hardcore PC gamer. I wouldn't go as far as to say I am part of the PC master race, because I think that whole thing is kind of ridiculous and it's just a dead meme at this point. But I will say, as someone who spent most of my time on console gaming, never even considering PC gaming as an option, I have to say I am pleasantly surprised by how amazing PC gaming is, and now I don't think I'm ever going back.